Alright, what is up guys, Zero here, and we're here for our first deck profile in a long while. And the first thing I want to take a look at is the deck that probably got affected the most by the buffs and nerfs last month on JP, being Jewel Knights. This deck went from completely irrelevant, garbage, no one playing it, to a deck that's actually very competent and a very solid deck. And the best thing is this deck is very cheap to make, realistically speaking, requiring 0 actual GRs needed to play the deck. So yeah, without further ado, let's take a look at the list. So if you see here, you'll see that I, actually not here, but you'll see that I do have GRs in here, but you don't actually need those. I'll go over it when I actually go over the G zone. So I'll go from top to bottom as per usual. Starter is the Lazy Gull, I think that's its name, regardless. But this thing's skill is when your Jewel Knight rearguard is called by an effect, I think, and you have 4 or more Jewel Knight rearguards that you gets plus 3k. So that was its old effect, and then it also got an extra line of text added to it, being then you may choose to put this card into your soul. If you do, you draw 1. So this thing can scale your columns early, which is really nice, and then you can go to soul for a draw as well. So yeah, pretty nice. That you do eventually use the draw skill. You don't, but it's not something you immediately shotgun with the instant you get a chance to. You do actually want to keep it around to give power sometimes, but the ability to give something to draw 1 is pretty nice. That being said, this deck doesn't really use soul that much at all, so the extra soul doesn't really help, but you know, draw 1 is always nice. So that's it for the starter. For grade 1s, 4 of the Jewel Knight PG, obviously because we were playing Miranda, and Miranda needs Jewel Knight names in the deck and needs all Jewel Knights, all cards in your deck to be Jewel Knights aside from the heal cards now. So obviously we have to play this. For Cymbalin, his skill is on play if you have 4 more Jewel Knight rears. Rest him and then give a unit plus 10k, so you can scale something to be really big, so really nice there. And then for her, she is the Jewel Knight Stride Fodder, but she does have a relevant second skill. So the Stride Fodder skill is if your heart is a Jewel Knight, or I don't remember, I don't know if it's if your Van needs to be Jewel Knight, or if it's you're striding to a Jewel Knight Stride, but regardless, if you're striding into a Jewel Knight Stride, it will be a Stride Fodder, because that is the only thing you'll ever go into in this deck. So yeah, it is Stride Fodder, and then her other skills on play. If you have 4 or more Jewel Knight rears, you may call a grade 3 Jewel Knight from your deck. Then that card gets the ability at the end of the battle that unit attacked, or just at the end of the turn, you return that card to your hand and then you discard 1. So this card can help you call an attacker, as well as can find you a grade 3 ride. So very good for that, and as well as being Stride Fodder. This card just serves double duty. It lets you find your grade 3 ride and can find you Stride Fodder while slamming this on the board to aggro with and call you a body on the board to swing with. So yeah, this card is overall really nice card. Sucks you have to discard a card to keep the grade 3, but if you don't need anything else, you just want to color down to attack with and get an attacker, you just ditch the card you added. So yeah, pretty good there. And that's the grade 1s. Actually no, and we're playing 1 of the self-ping. So we'll go over the self-pings together. So grade 1, grade 2. The self-pings are here because if you go first, you ride, because your deck's main ride is actually reverse. So if you go first and you have either the self-pings or you have someone to get to them, you can ping yourself to 4 and then do limit break stuff. So that's really cool for this deck, because you can you actually have plays going first, so really nice there. And self-pings are obviously cheating sometimes, because it lets you heal down when you're not supposed to. And I think in the games, at least in one of the games I do show off how BS self-pings can be, being able to ping yourself and then heal down. So yeah. Yeah, 1 grade 1 self ping because I only have space for 1, and then 4 grade 2 self pings because there really isn't anything else better to play. I was trying more of this guy, so his skill is on hit the van. If you have 4 more Jewel Knight rears, Soul Blast 1 and call a grade 1 Jewel Knight from your, or lower Jewel Knight from your deck. So I was trying him at 4 first, but I just never actually found a time where I wanted to use him. So I just come down to 1, just the one of, and then I play 4 self pings because being able to make plays going first is really nice. And then next off, the best card in the deck in my opinion is the Miranda. So her skill is, if your Vanguard is an Ashley, she gets plus 2k during your turn. And then at the end of the battle, this unit attack the Vanguard. If your Vanguard is an Ashley and you can choose to give a unit plus 3k, so it can be anything, van, rear, whatever. Then if all the cards in your deck have Jewel Knight name or are grade 0 heal cards, so Yeah, as you can see here, everything in here is a Jewel Knight and minus heal cards. You check top 3 cards of your deck and add one card from them to your hand. Then you may choose to call that card to rear. So this card originally had to hit, and you weren't allowed to play heal cards. But now this card makes it so you can continue playing heal cards in the deck, which obviously you want to, and it gives you the option to call the card you added, meaning you can extend with it. So this card overall just got buffed to hell, and it's just a very, very solid card now. And in my opinion, the reason why this deck is so good. And so obviously, yeah, we're gonna play 4 of it. And then finally for Sword Mies, so his skills on play CV1, choose one grade 1 or lower Jewel Knight rear guard. Choose one grade 1 or lower Jewel Knight from your deck and call it. So he makes a board for you, and he's also the mate to the to this guy, but we realistically never go into him. But yeah, he is a mate, but mainly he's here just to build a board. So yeah, that's all for all the grade 2s. And finally the triggers, 4 heal cards, 3 base Ashleys. You just want Ashley names because you need to be on an Ashley for the Miranda. But I'm choosing to play 2 Legions just because sometimes this deck does run the risk of potential deck out, and this guy can help you put cards back into your deck if you need to. So that's why he is here. Realistically, you never go into him, but yeah, just 2 of this guy, and then 4 Ashley reverse. Again, when going first, you can just use her to make plays going first with self pings, but after that, her actual skill is pretty irrelevant because you just stride every single turn after that. So but yeah, that's all for grade 3s or the triggers. And as you can see for triggers, we're playing 3 stands. Stands are really cheesy in this deck because if you stand in Miranda, you can use her skill more than once, which is really good. And that's why we're playing 3 stands. If you want to play more stands, you can definitely play more. I definitely think that stands in this deck are actually pretty good because you actually do plus quite a bit in this deck. So this deck actually can facilitate the extra stands. So pretty good there. I would say if you want to play more stands, just put like these 2 dudes on stands as well, or you can play like 5-4, 5 stand, or like 4 stand if you want. But yeah, definitely play around with the trigger ratios. I definitely do think stands are good in this deck. So I'm only playing 3 of it for now, but again, you can play more if you want. And finally, the G zone. I'm gonna be real. The G zone realistically doesn't matter aside from the 4 Evelyn and the 4 Harmonic. So I won't even bother going over these other cards. The other cards are just there to look pretty. But yeah, I have an Ultima in here because I have stands I can stack if I want to. This guy is here to potentially get a crit on GB3, but realistically, you'll never go into him. And 4 arrows because he's generic. But again, realistic, you'll never go into it. But yeah, those are there. But yeah, harmonics to harmonics, you play this in every deck. And then the only stride you realistically ever go into is the Evelyn, I think is her name. So she got buffed as well. So her first skill is on play if you have a Jewel Knight Heart, CV1, and choose a Jewel Knight rear from choose a Jewel Knight from your deck and call it. So not grade restricted, you can call it whatever you want. More often than not, you're calling Miranda off of this because you want to use Miranda every single turn. So again, but if you have if you already have another Miranda in your hand and you want to extend Miranda into Miranda, you don't always call Miranda, but more often than not, you're calling Miranda because you want to use the card. So yeah, that's for the first skill. And second skill, once returned, if you have Jewel Knight Heart, flip any card in your G-Zone face up, and then for every face up copy of her in your G-Zone that's face up, give a unit all your Jewel Knight rears get plus 3k. And then if you have 4 or more Jewel Knight rears, choose one of your opponent's front row rear guards and retire. If you have 2 more face-up cards in your G-Zone, retire your opponent's front row instead. So on first stride, she pumps the board up by a little bit and then lets you pop a front row. And then second stride onwards, you just pop the entire front row. And since you get really big, you can extend pretty well as well. You can extend pretty well, or just minimum go for 3 checks. So yeah, pretty good. This stride, along with Miranda being buffed, really makes the deck what it is, because with empty front row, you can just extend with Miranda, punch with big numbers, ask for a bunch of peaches at 5. So yeah, that's it for the actual deck profile. Again, you see a bunch of other stuff in the G zone, you will realistically never go into it. But yeah, that's it for the deck profile part of this video, and I'll have some games for you guys after this, so I will see you guys there. So for our first game, we are actually playing a mirror. You don't actually see this deck that often, so I was actually pretty surprised I ran into a mirror, and we are going first. But again, this deck actually does have pretty solid plays going first. Let's see here, we mull into whatever. Obviously, the main things you're looking for are you actually don't want to see Miranda that early because you can't actually use Miranda until like turn until turn 3. So you don't actually want to see them that early, but you also don't want to see them in your damage, which is one of the main things that can go wrong in this deck is that if all your Mirandas get damage checked, the only way you can put them back is if you like get lucky with something that put them back like that. But yeah, if you damage check too many Mirandas, you probably will lose the game because Miranda is essentially your win con. So yeah. So here we are going first. We draw into an Ashley, not the right Ashley, but we do draw into an Ashley. And here we send the Miranda in the back just to fulfill the conditions for this great one. Because here I actually will call out this to try to get the Ashley reverse because I do want to. Get Ashley reverse to ride because I'm going first. I do want to actually have a play going first, not just sit there and not do anything. So here you'll see the lazy goal, proc, give power, don't put into soul, proc, don't give power, don't put it into soul, and yeah. Here we have full board. We are like barely scaling here, so we don't have triggers. We need this man to not hit a single defensive here for us to push to 3. So Van Freer, Column's basically the same thing. He doesn't hit any defensives here, so we actually do just get to push to 3. I throw away the Miranda here because I already have 2 available to me. I want the self-ping for next turn if I end up getting pushed to 3. And I also want to hold the other Ashley hand just as Stride Fodder. And you'll also see here my opponent is playing like a full-on, like I think like 9 state, maybe like, I think I saw like 1 grade 0 crit from him. But here you'll see him actually play like a full-on like aggro trigger lineup. And you'll see that he actually does have the hand and stuff to actually like keep up. I think the one thing this guy did not have was guards in hand, so that is obviously a downside of playing aggro triggers. But yeah, as you'll see, you actually do have the hand to actually keep up with your opponent, even if you are playing 9 aggro triggers. Here, no trigger for him. But his left side is scanned, so he will push me at 3, which is something I actually do want because by going to 3, that means I can ping myself to 4 and do actually reverse things. And here, his crit goes back. If you draw PG, so we don't just die next turn. It's really nice. We ride the Ashley reverse, get the heal card from the harmonics, push that up, and then call this thing down to ping me to 4, and now I can use Ashley reverse. Oh yeah, I forgot. Ashley reverse also got buffed. She got buffed to only need to lock 1 for her skill. So here you see we only need to lock 1 to use skill, which is very, very nice. We pop, and then here we just call the semblance so we can scale something. I think I just ended up scaling the left column because I can just use the Miranda to give 3k to the Van instead to make put it to 14. Yeah, so no defensive. Here we give power to there. Check the top 3. Nothing of real relevance we can actually call with this. We just take that. No, I don't think I called it. You really don't need to here because the left side's already scaling well enough. You know, you get the heal here. You'll obviously see the bullshit here. I pinged myself to 4 so I could heal. We whiffed the second one, which kind of sucks, but whatever. We did ping ourselves. We only did get the heal up there at all beats. We pinged ourselves. And here the left side is still hitting, and we asked for a PG immediately, so we didn't have a heal in hand. And now the self-ping puts a card back, and now we're back at 2. So, and see here, our self-pings are very, very fair, and let me push while scaling, while also being able to heal when I wasn't supposed to. So, there's that. And here, you'll see him going to Evelyn. This is actually the only stride you'll ever go into. The stride pattern for this deck is first stride Evelyn, second stride Evelyn, and if there is a third stride, it's Evelyn again. So, yeah, that's just all this deck does. But yeah, he does his turn, he does his thing. He does this. Blah blah blah. He didn't even lead up intercept up, and he just dies here. So we'll just quickly go over this turn. We will use this, and here I actually don't think I called my own Miranda here because I want to chain. Oh, I guess. Yeah, because you actually don't want to call your Miranda because to get the max amount of checks, you want to chain Miranda into Mirandas, and you can't do that. You take all them out of your deck. So yeah, here I was actually thinking what I want to call off of this. I think I just end up calling the one of yeah. Let's call it. I think his name is Altergo. We just end up calling this guy. Give him power. And I here actually did, I think I actually did use the draw here. Not because I particularly cared for the draw, but because I wanted to empty that slot out so we can call the symbol in to scale the Miranda. So here, see music, give Miranda 10k, so it goes to 21 by itself. We use the Evelyn, we pop his intercept, and we go, we just go like rear. And since Miranda doesn't need to hit anymore, we can swing the smaller side first. Okay, so here, there goes into that. No defensive, doesn't matter. If there was a grade 1 you could call with to solo attack and extend with, you'd call it here, but there just isn't a grade 1 that can hit 16 by itself, so I do not think I used the skill here. Go here, yeah. Here I was just thinking, like, was there a way for me to do this while scaling? There just wasn't. The other line here that I could have done here was call the grade 1 stride fodder. And called that and he just died here. Yeah, you see he didn't have cards, but yeah. The other line you could have done there was you call the grade 1 stride fodder and just remake a whole column by using that and make it grade 3. But at the end of the day, you do that, you'll still use up the booster, which is what I was looking to not do, because I wanted to like Miranda, hopefully try to find another Miranda off the Miranda and then do it again and extend to the other side. So yeah, my opponent just didn't have a guard and he died. So yeah, that's it for the first game. Second game, we'll skip this one because my opponent was an actual paid actor. He threw in like 10 different ways in that game, so we'll just quickly skip that. And the next game we'll watch, we're going to be playing as Kagero, as Overlord. And here, you will see the absolute bullshit at the very end of what stands can do in this deck if you're super lucky. So here, we don't want to overextend early, so swing pass. But your hand does have a bunch of like grade 1s you don't really need. You can just definitely send them down like extra Symbolins or like extra the stride fodder. You can send those down if you want, but realistically, even going second, I don't actually think you want to aggro for the most part, because you want to be saving your grade 1s for like a turn 2, and afterwards where you can actually get like full effects off of them. So yeah. Here we tried, and obviously we have to use the grade 1 here because we need to find a ride, and so we use this. My scaling here is not the best, but we're making exactly like what was it, like 13, 16, 21, so one trigger or no defensive. We can try to push the 3 here. But here, first damage, no defensive. Second damage. He does hit a defensive, but we actually do have a way to scale over this. We use this guy, just call a Symbolin over the Symbolin, so that we can just give 10k to the Ashley column on the right. So as long as that first damage is not defensive, we actually did have a way to push him all the way to 4 here. And we do use the dog because the dog is probably going to die next turn anyways. It was probably getting retired by something. So yeah, we hit. He does not hit a heal in the defensive there. So yeah, we pushed him to 4. We're in a pretty good spot here. Even because the next turn we get the stride too, because we went second, so we get first stride. So here he does his thing. We're just quickly through his turn. Pretty boring anyways. Yeah, he heals. He just calls down board, so he doesn't eat a whole lot of shit on my turn. But yeah, here we stride into obviously the Evelyn, and then here I think I drew into the sword me, but if I didn't draw into that, I was guaranteed to call another sword me just so I can remake a board. But here I think I ended up calling it anyways, because again I didn't want to like waste all the Mirandas in my deck. So yeah, yeah, we still call the sword me, and the sword me will call us a booster of some sort. Yeah, CV1. Nothing of real relevance we need to call it, so I'll call the self ping down if I happen to be able to heal down because of the self ping. That'd be really cool. And we have exactly enough Joel rears to fulfill all the requirements. Everything is 3k, and we get the pop. Yeah, so rear. We go Miranda solo. No defensive, and then here we give higher there in case we want to extend. We check top 3, see what we find. You find the self ping, and I think I just ended up calling it because here if I call it, I pay myself because that right side will still hit, right? So here I call this, I pay myself to 5 so I can deny him of a potential heal, and here I'm still in heal range myself, and we actually do get to heal. So self ping's pretty broken. You see here, we were at 3. we pinged ourselves to 5 and we healed down, and now we're at 2, so we're no longer in any danger of dying to anything. Because I definitely was in danger of dying to just the purge because only 1 guard in hand and no PG at that. But at 2, you're probably in a pretty safe split. So yeah, self ping's pretty broken. And here he does his thing. He couldn't scale properly, so he healed and he just pushed me to 5. But here you'll see the absolute bullshit that is stand triggers in this deck, especially on second stride onwards where your stuff is really big. Yeah, so here, obviously the thing you're calling here is Miranda. I don't have one access to one in hand, so I do want to just make sure I have one. So Miranda, and then since on the last turn we didn't call the Sword Me in our hand, with this one we actually get to use the one that we kept in our hand from last turn. No use to use that. Call the Cymbalin, power up the Miranda so we can swing with her as the second swing solo. And oh yeah, usually if you think you have a turn to play after this, you'd flip something else that isn't the other Miranda, but here I was like, I'm just gonna go for game here. I need to end the game here. I'm probably not living next turn, so I ended up choosing to just flip the extra Evelyn up for more power instead of saving it for next turn. So yeah, usually on second try you usually try to flip something else that isn't your last copy of Evelyn, but here I didn't think I had it next turn, so I just ended up flipping it for more power. And here I choose the boost because I wanted to ask for the PG. I was 1k short of not needing to ask for a PG here without needing a boost, which really sucks, but it's whatever. We do find another Miranda off the top, so we get to chain Miranda into Miranda. And here I'm just thinking, oh yeah, it's 1k off, so I'll just play for a trigger. So I asked for a PG, so yeah, there, and we flipped 2 stands. If I played for double stand, I could have done more bullshit here with the stands, but here you'll still see that I get to proc like Miranda like 3 to 4 times in one turn, which is absolutely insane while everything's asking for PG. He died, so I didn't even get the chance to use the other Miranda, but yeah. As you can see there, the potential there on the last turn was insane if you actually had all the guards for it. And yeah, that's just what this deck does. You hopefully flip stands and try to abuse Miranda multiple times. Obviously, if you want to play more stands, you can. So yeah, if you want to play around with that, go ahead. And I think the other thing you got from this is that self-pinging into heal is still bullshit even now. So yeah, that's it for this deck profile. Tell me guys what you think about this deck down below in the comments. Like and subscribe with the good stuff, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.